Welcome back, guys. Hope you guys had a good 10-minute break, and we are going to go straight into the second set. My name is Susie Kim. This is Wolf Schroeder, and we are here with you to bring you the next game, which is Coalition versus B Gaming.
B Gaming, highly favored going into this series, Susie. But you know, we saw a pretty big upset just earlier, as we saw that Team Efficiency was able to take out the Immortals. It did go to a tiebreaker, but they were able to take those 2 points, which most people were not expecting to happen. Coalition still hasn't won a game yet in this tournament, so for them, this is definitely going to be a big challenge, whereas Team Efficiency has already shown not only have they won several games, but they've actually looked really strong against some of the other stronger teams as well. This one should be pretty one-sided, but you know, we said that before. Didn't turn out to be the case.
That is true.
So we'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see. B Gaming, obviously the team from Japan, they have been pretty strong again, but we're going to talk about the Coalition first. Here is the team Coalition. Baby, Crazib, and Roby1 Kenobi. I mean, these are all players that we keep seeing over and over.
Lakushime, you know, we see Mafia almost always, Haku as well.
And Lyrax, yeah.
Yeah, Lyrax as well. Definitely seeing those. Those are like the main members. We see Roy Amiya sometimes. We've seen Raymond like one time. Some of these players we've never seen before still to this day. But Coalition, a team that, you know, when you think of this team, you think, well, definitely one of the teams that's having a hard time.
Yes, and B Gaming, like we said, B Gaming, 7mm, definitely a strong player there. Taki, Banzai Attack. We've seen just about every single one of these players play before.
Super Hiroshi, Nipa, Lolita, Tamati, Karaya. Even Paper and Jen, the two members that we didn't see as much until recently, are starting to make a lot of appearances, and they've actually shown up and done really well. So B Gaming, really on top of their game right now. They want to, you know, really challenge for that top 3 spot at this moment in time to prove that basically that they can ride with Elong and Karen Tigers up there at the very top of the list.
Absolutely, and I mean, they must really want it. Karen Tigers being a Japanese team as well, you know, both of them kind of being the key players for Japan, basically, you know, and obviously you don't want to be the B team, even though they are B Gaming. They want to make sure that they could take that first place spot, but we'll have to see how they do today.
Yeah, that we'll have to wait and see. I feel like they're highly favored going into this one. We are going to start things off on Ruinberg. It's going to be our first map, so we're starting things off on the city side of things a little bit here, and just curious to see what sort of lineup, what sort of play style we're going to see from Coalition. They've seen a bit sloppy in the past, and their match versus run insanely too aggressive, and that sort of thing worked for them half the time versus run. But I don't think that just being aggressive and running in and trying to take a fight and surprising their opponent's team here is really going to work against a team of the caliber of B Gaming. They're going to see that coming from a mile away. They're going to set up and they're going to crush it, especially on a map like Ruinberg, where Singapore is actually going to be on the attack first, which means they're going to have to, as I mentioned before, escape from the city.
Well, what I was going to say, they're on the attack first, so we may see some aggressive play. But you know what? Let's introduce Ruinberg to you one more time. We want to show you this city map here.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Judging from the map on the overhead view, you can see sort of the middle area here, these big open cobblestone roads that end up being controlled oftentimes by the attacking team, as we saw in the last series with Team Efficiency. This is the most contested capture point outside, the one on the inside side of things towards the north. A little bit tougher to take. We almost never see that one contested. And this map is basically attacking side wants to get out of here and take that outside point. The defending side wants to make sure they can find out which path these teams are going to take. As you can see, there's 3 main paths out of the city. And once you spawn as the attacking side, the alternative way, which is the more common way recently, is to move down to the south on that smaller path, those 2 diagonal ones, move around the south side of the outside and work your way towards that capture point.
Yeah, and like you said, the capture point that's usually contested, that's because there's a lot of buildings around there, and you can efficiently hide your tanks behind buildings and try to stay away from crossfire. We do see usually 2 tanks at least, one being an IS-3 trying to cover for the other tank. We'll see like an IS-3 in there, and or the tier 6, you know, if the team decides to bring a tier 6.
The most east side road that goes vertically on this map is something that we see teams every now and then use to attack. We saw Team Efficiency try to control this road in the previous game to make sure that the defending tanks can't really approach and get close to that capture point to get a good shot, because there are those buildings which you can't really see on the mini-map, but when you see the game, as we get into it, we load up, you can see there's a lot of those rubble and the ruins, if you will, of
Right.
Ruinberg that can help protect those tanks that are trying to attempt the capture.
So this is really interesting. We just saw Ruinberg being played. We watched the last two teams. We got Team Efficiency and Immortals on it, and I'm curious to see how these two teams are going to pan out, and we're already ready, so let's go straight into set number 1. Okay, set number 1 has begun. Coalition is on the attack. We're going to see how aggressive they're going to be.
All right, let's talk about these tanks, Susie. We have a really unique lineup of tanks for both teams. Again, things are getting pretty crazy. In recent times in Asia, we're seeing the meta shift quite a bit. 2 IS-3s, the Waffen, 3 T-54s, and a 59-16 on the attacking side for Coalition. On B Gaming side, we're running 1 IS-3 and AMX 5100, 3 T-54s, and they're bringing that AMX 1390 that I really like to see on the defensive side on this map, just because I feel like it's got that. It's it's an autolator. It's a little bit faster. It's a better choice than bringing 2 5100s, or even bringing 2 IS-3s. I feel when you're going to run a comp that has this many lightweight tanks.
All right, already we can see shots being fired. This is interesting. We hardly see Raymond play, really, for Coalition, and here he is on the Waffen. Oh, wow. So already Lelote taking a ton of damage, as is Crazib. And this game is panning out a lot different from the last one that we just watched, as Lelote goes down already, and it was not even 1 minute played in the game.
B Gaming not expecting a push to come to the north like this. They're just now repositioning, and we almost never see teams really rush this capture point quite like this. So I don't think that B Gaming was expecting this type of strategy. Definitely we're not expecting the Waffen, which is a whopping amount of damage to that tank. So let's see how B Gaming can kind of reposition themselves, because they're still in a decent spot. They're down a tank, but this is a tough capture point to capture. This is why it's almost never taken. Let's see what they can get done here. 22 seconds to go.
Yep, Crazib is taking some damage as well. B Gaming doing very well at adapting to what their opponents are doing. 16 seconds left on this base capture point, and he's in a really good position. Crazib is going to go down pretty soon. I mean, the guy with 18 HP, I'm not sure if he'll be able to last any longer, but look at this. Roby1 and Lakushme, they're just going to hide out and see if they can capture this base right away. This is exactly what I expected from Coalition.
Yep.
The super aggressive, fast play. And
Jin coming out here on the 1390, getting a ton of damage done, though. Plenty of damage, and if they can continue to deny this base capture, it was definitely a really good fight for them there. The 1390 doing exactly what they needed to do. Very good positioning by both teams, especially the Coalition, rotating their lightweight tanks around, even though lightweights are not, IS-3s are not the best blocking tanks.
No,
at least you
they're
can put the full health ones in the front, which is exactly what they did.
all right, I mean, base capture did go up again and down again. It's up and no longer there anymore. Haku and, is that Shrimp?
Yeah.
Oh, Shrimp. You know what? We
We've never
haven't
seen
seen
him
him
before. Yep.
either, yeah.
Very first time. Might be someone else using a different ID on the team, but never seen that one before. First timer. 7mm taking a better fight here against Roby1 Kenobi, despite being down on hit points. He's actually able to outposition there. 7mm wants to get one more shot off, and he does, but he goes down. Haku falls as well, and it's 2-on-2.
It
the AMX
is.
5100 now has its shells back up, and he's going to start shelling away here at this IS-3. Roby1 Kenobi does not want to stick around and take this direct fight.
No, he does not. Lakushme just doesn't get there in time to block that shot, and now Taki is in trouble. He only has 2 shells left. Is he going to be able to make a difference? Lakushme is going to go straight up into his face, and Taki is now a sitting duck. Lakushme does take him out. Nate Max is the lightweight, but wow, he does do great damage on him,
Well,
and it is a
Lakushime,
1v1.
Exactly, he's so low that you can actually fight this. Otherwise, he'd probably be playing a little bit more of that ring around the rosy type stuff we saw. It's already 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, but takes him out there and will win this first game a lot closer than I expected it to be. Coalition doing a really unique strategy, pushing the north first with those lightweight tanks. And it worked out for them in the start. B Gaming lost their tier 6.
Yeah.
They had to rotate. It was a bit stressful. It was a bit scary for them at the beginning, but they were able to get into position. And the 1390 was the key here. It did way too much damage. It was left alone, was not focused, and that's really what won them those fights.
Yeah, I think B Gaming did an incredible job of really adapting to what was happening. Their reaction time was great, and I think had B Gaming not been able to do that, Coalition could have taken that first map.
Yeah, if they had been caught a little bit more off guard, if they had not been able to basically transition quickly enough,
Yeah.
that absolutely would have been a win for Coalition, I feel. They got into a good position early. They sniped the tank early. Their movements were good. The rotations on the tanks, the rotating the lower hit point tanks out, and of course rotating the ones in the front that have the more hit points on those lightweights. Very difficult to do. We saw even the Immortals having a lot of trouble with that in the previous series, even though the Immortals are considered to be a much better team than Coalition. Really good movements. They're bringing their A game today. You know, they had a tough match against Run. Maybe that motivated them a little bit.
Maybe.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I mean, yeah, they didn't win, but they've got plans. They're moving well. Their accuracy is good.
Do you think they're going to rush again, similarly, like they did Game 1? Or do you think that was just like a one-off strategy?
I think that's a one-off strategy, right?
Okay.
Because it seems to be like that's the kind of strategy you do once, it works or it doesn't, and you move on. But at the same time, we saw them play against Run. They repeatedly used these aggressive rush strategies. They almost never changed their game plan, like ever. So it's a high chance that we could see them do it again. If it were any other team, I would say, no, absolutely not. We're never going to see it again. But there's a high chance we see it again.
You know what, I'm going to go with you on that.
Because, you know, we saw, you were asking me last time, you were like, what do you think they're going to do? And I said, well, I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that, but I think they're going to try to rush the capture point. It's not going to work, and they're going to die. We saw this with Running
that's right. I put
Coalition.
the gun to your head, and I made you pick something. But all right, we're going to see if Coalition will do that again or not in game number 2. Game number 2, we have TCSG versus B Gaming, and B Gaming is on the defense one more time.
Okay, so tank lists are out. Same thing here for TCSG and for B Gaming, 1391 IS3. Okay, so same lineups here. And 1390 again, I think.
Yep, we have a 1390 again.
It's really important. I really like this. I think this is the tank of choice on this map. It can be the playmaker.
The playmaker?
The same way that
we'll
a tank destroyer can be a playmaker on Himmelsdorf. This is just one of those tanks that, if left alone, if left uncontested, just does too much damage.
Okay, you were right. They totally are not going up north anymore. Coalition is going to head down south, in fact. B Gaming was smart, did send over the T-37 to make sure that that didn't happen again, and is scouting out that way. But obviously they know now that the Coalition is not there at all. NeatMax and Super Hiroshi are going to get met with 4 members of the Coalition, and there's probably going to be some fire. There we go. We got 2v4 basically, and they're just going to start shooting at one another, see if they can chip away those HP and get rid of a tank at least.
And this view is much more important to see than the bird's eye view we had moments ago, because it looks like, wow, why can't they just destroy those tanks 4v2? It's because with all these trees here, the accuracy, the amount of vision that you have is so limited that it's hard to actually take that advantage. So this is a cool move, using a lesser amount of tanks to actually fight quite well, and actually they're winning the battle, doing a lot more damage.
They sure are. They're positioning themselves very well. NeatMax does take some damage, but from afar, not from the group that's actually right in front of their face. But you see him just maneuvering. He just keeps moving. He doesn't want to be a sitting target.
Of course. Once you get spotted that way, even if there's a bush blocking you, your opponents can just snipe you. Krzyzib is going to go for that right now. Actually looking down the other path, doesn't look like he's interested anymore. Roy Hamia, seeing him again, coming down the front path here in this T-37. He's looking for Lolita. It looks like we're going to have a battle of these tier 6s. Lolita very low, so this is absolutely a fight that he can win, especially because Lolita has positioned himself in such a way as not
but
able
I
to
mean,
move.
Roy's got his buddy with him right behind him. There he is,
Haku.
And obviously, if he's going to take a shot at Lolote, he also has cover fire. Yep, and Lolote goes down because Haku is right behind him and helps him take that out. Okay.
Krzyzib dodges a shot there, very important, and IS-3 is trying to connect with him to chunk down a few more of those hit points. Now, at this point in time, the Coalition does have a favorable position in their tanks' hit points and overall health, but they're not able to leave the city just yet, and we're already getting down to 4 minutes and 20 seconds, so I do worry for them a bit. Maybe we'll take this Neat Mania tank out, this T-54. Actually, maybe not necessarily. Shimp is coming in here. Okay, does take him out, and actually, if he can escape here, that would be huge.
If he could. He's doing a really good job. Knocks down that tree and tries to hide behind there, but now it's Shimp versus Baby, and they're going to go back and forth and trade some shots. Roby1 Kenobi coming up behind him to try to give him some cover fire. And the base capture does start. Jin, it looks like, is going to see if he could stop that.
Roby1 Kenobi at the back there, not actually able to protect his T-54 buddy. And now he's in a position where he might be able to take out Schmidt here, but it's definitely going to be tough because he's getting outmaneuvered, as you can see.
Yes, he definitely is. And this little shell of a tank is helping him out quite a bit. Shimp is now down pretty low. Roby1 does have his shot ready.
Yep.
And he's going to have to do something about it.
Oh, he's just getting way out of position. Finally goes down there with a ricochet. Lakushime is probably going to fall through Jin here as well in the 1390. Oh, gets taken out first by Haku.
That was awesome. That was really well done. Lakushime is inching around. Many of the members of the coalition very low in HP. Raymond does go down. That 5100 is now gone. And it is a 1v4. I mean, B Gaming did pretty well in trying to hold that up, but wow, coalition.
Well, the problem here, of course, being that even though B Gaming is on the defense here, there are 2 bases being captured, although 7mm does bring us back. There's a lot of time left on the clock, and we're going to see 7mm actually get another kill here. And
he is going up against 3 tanks, and even with 3 tanks with very, very, very low HP, it's still 3v1.
He's just being outmaneuvered. He's an IS-3. It's the worst tank to be in this case, essentially. I mean, maybe a T-32 would be slightly worse, but it's not going to have any hopes.
Oh, wow, yeah, he is taking a lot of damage, and that will be it. Coalition, go ahead and take that second set.
Yeah. And now, of course, we're going into a situation where the coalition will be switching sides, of course, going to this next set. And they're going to be on the defensive, so we'll see how they want to play this one on the defensive side of things. That was a weird game, just simply because we saw a lot of way too overcommitted engagements by B Gaming, engaging repeatedly. Like, it's like an IS-3 versus a lightweight tank, and then they instead of retreating, they just try to fight it. I'm like, well, he's just gonna run circles around you, and you're gonna lose your tank. This happened several times. And they just got outpositioned, outmaneuvered. Like, we saw their rotations were not, like, the rotations of their tanks were not happening. We saw one tank get caught, nobody comes to help him, whereas the tank he's fighting against, who's getting very low and it's a very close fight, has a friend come over and help him out, whether it's a lightweight, whether it's an IS-3. The 1390 went out really, really early, which I think is a key part. This is the tank that is kind of like the playmaker, and if it doesn't do its damage, if it gets eliminated early, then you've got a big problem.
Well, obviously, the 1390 did a lot of damage in that first game, and they didn't want that to happen in the second game. That makes a lot of sense that they would be singled out that way. It looks like there is going to be a player switch on Coalition side, but we're going to have to wait to see who that is going to be. Interesting. I find it interesting that they do this player switch thing when they switch sides. Why do you think that is?
Well, of course, on the defending side and the attacking side of the map, that's as different as this, where it's like you're in or outside of a city, basically. It's going to make a huge difference of how you approach and how you start and how you set up and which tanks you want to use. So sometimes you might have a player on a very specific tank that's even no longer used on the opposite side. So you want to get that player out and send someone in who's better at that type of play of that specific tank.
That is very true. That is very true. I'm wondering if B Gaming is going to be as aggressive as on the attack this time around.
Oh, definitely a high chance of that. I think the best way to describe this map for the attacking side is we're going to get out of the city, probably going to be to the south, easiest, safest way, and approach that capture point outside of the city, where you're not funneling into enemy tanks that have basically been sitting there and wait for you. We do have a player switch that's Mafia, who's coming in for Haku.
Haku is going to get... I'm surprised by this, because Haku did really, really well last 2 games, but I guess Mafia wants his chance at this.
Probably just a better player on the defending side, most likely, based on how this normally goes, right? Or maybe he had some sort of internet connection problem towards the end of that. Even though they won, he was starting to realize, hey, I think I should be swapped out for a minute. Let me get my internet back under control. Because this is an online tournament, so these players are playing from home, from the team house or wherever. It might even be playing from the library for all we know. They're connected in here, and they're just going to be, for the best of their ability, connecting in, and sometimes these connection problems do happen. We've seen it before. That's least likely what's going to be happening. Most likely it's just simply going to be player feels better on the attack side or the defensive side, and we're having that switch now.
I think B Gaming is also going to be switching players as well, just taking a look A little gander at the lobby here, right in front of me here.
Yeah, Shimip and Jin are going out, and Bonsai and Nipa are going to be going in.
I think that's what's going to be. So, wow, lots of player changes, which probably means different play styles and different tank choices.
Well, we didn't see Jin that often in the past. He was the one on 1390 in that series. It worked well in Game 1, did not work well in Game 2. We've seen Shimip almost never. It's our first time seeing him, so it makes sense that maybe they're trying to see him play against a weaker team, and now they're switching him out.
All right, enough talk. Let's go right into the next game. Set number 3 has begun, guys. The score is now 1-1, and Coalition are going to take the defense at this little set here. We can see the tanks and the players have changed.
All right, let's talk about these tanks. 5100, 2 IS-3s, 3 lightweights, and the 12-ton, and 5100, an IS-3, 3 lightweights, and 1390. So, B-Gaming running the same composition, even though they're coming out of the city now. And they are on the attack, rushing towards the south side.
Have you noticed Ruinberg always has really good weather?
Yeah, actually, the clouds are quite nice. It's like a beautiful sunset.
It's a beautiful sunset. It's always sunset in Ruinberg. Actually, there's no other time of day.
Yeah, it's like literally always sunset. Never gets dark.
Nope. You're kind of like stuck in a perpetual sunset time period here. Man, it's kind of like a Twilight Zone, really. Anyway, so we can see here, B-Gaming has left several members right in the city, while a couple of them, so half of them are in the city, and the half of them are going to spread out and make their way out.
Notice which tanks they send where. They send their 2 lightweights to the bottom right. One of those, of course, being the T-37. The AMX-100 is ready to do a serious amount of damage if it spots someone. The IS-3s are to cover for him. 2 lightweights stay in the city to help protect the 1390, which is going to slowly work its way closer to the capture point because it doesn't have an insane amount of range. It wants to get it as close as possible to do that damage.
Yeah.
Once the engagements start fighting.
Yeah, the 12-ton kind of going from bush to bush, really, trying to see if they could figure out a way to give their team better visibility. Coalition wants to do this. Lolote is going to start this base capture, trying to lure out the members of TCSG.
Neat Mania sticks his head out here for just a moment, shows us just how dangerous that is, takes a few hit points worth of damage, sees a lot though, and is probably going to want to keep his position back there where it's safe.
Absolutely.
Mafia now coming to join up, and they're going to try to push this back. Really good position for B-Gaming. Like, they're already down to 75 points on the base capture, and they have really good coverage of all these locations with these 3 tanks they've brought nearby.
Okay, the 12-ton is, kind of, I guess, watching to make sure that no one's going to take that base up top, but he's missing out on the action, and at this point, I think it would be best for him to join up with the rest of his team. Neat Mania and Lukushme are taking shots at each other. Neat Mania is going to go down. Crazib is going to take that kill. And yeah, wow, it's just lots and lots of aiming everywhere, and people are going very, very low.
Very well said. Raymond is very low here. Lolita wants to take the kill on him. 7mm will be the one who finishes him off. Taki survives, which is very, very important here. He's got 1 round left, but he's going to be alive to live another day. Lolita cannot say the same about himself, but if Taki can reload here, if he can actually get that that extra wave of shots, he's going to be very important in the next stage of this game.
Taki and Nipa's falling crazy, so everyone's just they're just trading shots left and right, except B-Gaming is getting the worst end of the deal, and now it is a 4v2. Coalition doing a very great job in positioning themselves to not take as much damage as B-Gaming is, and now it's only up to Bonsai Attack and 7mm. The 1390, basically, he's just got to wait out 3 more seconds to get his ammo back, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Nope.
Roy is going to take him out through that fence, and that's
7mm goes down as well, yeah.
Coalition.
Coalition now up 2-1 in this series, Susie, and B-Gaming not playing as well as I would expect.
No.
Coalition also playing better than, like, ever. And they are, so let's talk about what they're doing right. their positioning of their tanks much better than B Gaming's. Always having tanks to spot, always having tanks to block, always having a tank to make sure there's no movements going on to the north. Yeah, they had that 12-ton missing from the fight, but because he was there, they were able to move more aggressively because they knew there was no other tanks coming from that direction, and they didn't need him as much in the fight.
That's true.
And eventually he did come back and help out once he realized, hey, there's nobody over there.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing from B Gaming is a failure to protect their weakened tanks, a failure to protect their 1390, which has been a big, a big tank that they've been trying to rely on. If you're going to pick up that tank instead of an IS-3, instead of a 50-100, or even instead of another lightweight, then you have to protect it. It can't be the tank that gets surrounded and picked off, or puts its shots out but doesn't kill any of the tanks, doesn't destroy any of those tanks. So this is just basically, I feel, Coalition very strong on this map, very good movements, and in these fights, surprisingly so, because we've seen B Gaming do incredibly well already in this tournament, are not having the best day at protecting their key tanks.
I am wondering if B Gaming didn't take this matchup seriously and didn't prepare as much as they should have for it.
That's a very good theory.
Here's, because Coalition, obviously, after a devastating loss to Run last week, they were probably just like, man, we are going to go full force onto this next game. B Gaming could just been like, Coalition, whatever.
Well, they sent Jin out. They sent Shimip, which we've never seen before, out, and that almost tells me from the bat they wanted to try some of the weaker players, test the waters. Hey, it's Coalition, it's a free win. It almost seems like that's the attitude, right? So, yeah, I think actually your theory could be correct. It could be just an underestimation of this team, and it could come back to bite them because they're now down 2-1, and we're going to our final map or our final game on this map, Ruinberg. And B Gaming would love to tie it up here because going down 3-1, going to the next map, which is going to be Mines, definitely a scary place to be.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, they're going to have to try to change their mentality and actually take these games seriously. I'm hoping that for the sake of sportsmanship, that everyone takes every game seriously, of course, but the preparation may be just a little less than normal. And
what's going to get really exciting as we go into Mines, then we're really going to be able to know if B Gaming prepared, because Coalition played the same way every single of the 4 games they put on Mines, just aggressively run into the middle of the map and try to fight.
Yeah.
And if B Gaming isn't prepared for that, it will show.
All right. Well, let's see here. We're going straight into game number 4. Set number 4, ladies and gentlemen, we have Coalition up 2, B Gaming's 1, and now B Gaming going to see if they could tie it up.
Changed a lot of tanks, which I'm happy about. Both teams running a 50-100, but 3 IS-3s for B Gaming, replacing their 1390 with an IS-3 here, instead of using another lightweight. Of course, bring the T-37 as well. And for Coalition, just having the 2 IS-3s and the 50-100, 3 lightweight T-54s, and the 12-ton, sticking with what works. But B Gaming with a more solid lineup of tanks, a more well-rounded. I do like the 1390 on this map a lot, but I like it more on the defensive side, and it has not worked out for B Gaming.
No, it has not. Now this Taki going down all by himself through the middle, almost as if he wants to distract the members of the Coalition, but I don't know how long he's going to be able to survive before all the other members come around from the south side. We have that 12-ton again, minding that, there's Roy. He's going to just hang out and make sure that this base capture doesn't get any infested with B Gaming members.
Yeah.
While we have the 3 IS-3s coming around to the capture point.
Well, they need to, because that 5100 isn't going anywhere without them. And it was a strange move, in my opinion, to send the 5100 to that location because it's a bit pinned down now. You usually don't want to send that tank alone. These IS-3s are going to come protect him now, and maybe he can actually finally escape from that location and come to give some support fire here. Good pushing so far here for B Gaming, kind of pushing these members off of this capture point. And they might even put one of these IS-3s there with Lolita on the capture point in just a moment here, because then they can start to threaten this, because they're in such a good position defensively. The 5100 is now positioned in such a way where you can spot down that middle path, and anyone who tries to come towards that capture point is going to have a bad time, Susie.
And just like you said, the capture does start. It's only the T-37 on there. 7mm gets to his position, but he does it in a very loud fashion. I don't know if you guys caught him trying to break down all those brick walls and stuff. He wants the rest of Coalition to come at him, because there are 2 IS-3s. Him and Banzai Attack are just kind of waiting, and they're going to be protecting Lolote on the T-37.
scary to move like this through these buildings. You don't have a lot of space to fan out with, but they do so undetected. Taki is in a place where he could have actually taken some shots there. Doesn't decide to do so. Not confident enough in his accuracy. If you miss shots like that on your 5100, it's going to cost you. You're going to have you're going to have to reload faster, which is not ideal. You want to save those first few shots.
Ooh, Roby 1 gets tons of damage. That was a critical hit.
Oh, for sure.
Over 1,000 HP down. And it looks like he's going to be the first to drop. There you go, 7mm takes him down. Baby also just dropping like flies.
Yep, Baby goes down. Super Hiroshi now moving into position here.
Lakushme is going to drop pretty soon. All this focus fire. B-Game has finally woken up. All of them are talking to one another, and they're trying to pick off tanks one by one. I think this is very, very smart of them. Find a tank that's open. Get a bunch of, see, you guys can see there right now, all the aiming is on one tank. And luckily for Crazy, he has his dead friends to help him, but
the setup here was good for B-Gaming. They were able to get into position exactly the way they wanted to, and they have not lost a single tank. This could be a perfect game. They also have Lolita still on that capture point. He's been here for the longest time, ignored, and 13 seconds to go. He's just driving around, hoping that maybe he can actually just cap it and win it. Very difficult now for the Coalition to actually deny this, and even if they do hit him, it's going to cause them to be out of position. 5 seconds to go. Mafia falls. It looks like the cap will actually occur. 3, 2, 1, and B-Gaming will tie it up 2-2 with a capture win here, not losing a single tank in that last game.
Yes, I mean, compared to the first 3 games, I feel like B-Gaming really did, all of a sudden, like I said, wake up and go, we have to take these guys seriously. This is it's not easy.
The setup and the positioning there, basically perfect. The AMX 6100 move out through the middle was worrying me at first, but then the plan came together. They were able to protect it by pressure, not protect it by having other tanks near it, but just pressuring so hard that no one was ever able to deal with that 5100. Then the 5100 is in position to do damage, and then they got Lolita there. With the position they had on those buildings, they were able to put Lolita there and just say, come for him, I dare you, because we are waiting in perfect position. Also, we had the Coalition move through those buildings a bit riskily through some of those little alleyways.
Because if they got caught out there, I mean, I know what you're going to say. If they got caught out there was nowhere to run.
They can't move, basically. They're stuck. They're sitting ducks. They moved there, and then they were cut off to a position where the only way they could move back was to go through that same dangerous place, and they did not do it for good reason, but they didn't end up getting into a position where they could take a good fight. So, tied score currently, Susie, at 2-2. We are going into mines now, the first time we're seeing this map today.
Yep.
And so, very technical map, and a map that we've seen the Coalition be very aggressive on. Let's take a look at this map.
Yes, let's take a look at the video of mines.
Now,
yeah, mines, this is the one where there is a mine right in the middle, but it's like a higher ground, as you guys can see. It's an elevated space. I like to call it the island because it's easy.
Yeah.
The capture points, one being right underneath the mine. You can see the lighthouse over there by the water and the beachfront where we see a lot of lightweights go. Here we go. Here's the capture point by the water. And
so let's take a look at the mini-map. What we saw Coalition do, and they were actually spawning on the defense first, is rush towards that island, down that middle pathway. Imagine they spawn in the defense as they're going to start on game 1. They go straight up that pathway, right in between everything, and rush right into the attackers. We saw them do this every time against Run, and Run most of the time met them the same place. Sometimes Run actually went around and did that, lightweight tanks going towards the island, or towards the waterfront, towards the beach type play. B-Gaming just needs to scout, find out if the positioning of Coalition is going to be sending all 7 tanks to fight, which they've done in the past, or not. And if they get caught by this, it clearly will show that they did not do their research, they did not watch the VODs, they did not see how Coalition was playing on this map, because we saw them do this 4 times. If they do it again, no excuse for B-Gaming to not know that this is how they stylistically play on this map. They did it every time.
I think Coalition, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Coalition is probably for the first game, even if they're on defense, just going to rush it and do some crazy strategy.
Probably.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. That's what they're known for. That's what we've seen from them on many maps, especially in most recent times versus Run, where Run plays a similar style. We've got a bit of a fiery, very close series on this map. I think if they have done any preparation at all, B-Gaming should be able to respond to this. The response to this is simply to be careful, patient, give up some of that territory and allow them to funnel in, and then just beat them with good focus fire and better positioning. You don't have to rush to that island. You don't have to rush that location. If your opponent is just going to haphazardly run in, that's how you get vulnerable. If you're trying to rush in as well, but they're on the attacking side and they have a better position because they're used to this. This is their plan, and you're kind of you're quickly taking the capture point, but not as safely as you could be, not prepared for that kind of fight. So, if they studied, I think that game 1 should be an easy win if Coalition does what they normally do.
Well, let's see. We've got quite a lot of changes in the lineup. TCSG is going to take out Mafia and put in Haku again, while B Gaming is going to take out Nipa and put in Karaya.
Karaya, we've seen this guy a lot on the T-32 on this map. We've also seen him on the SPG, so high chance. I think he's probably going to be on the SPG on this map. Scary to use an SPG against Coalition, though, because you might end up being in a firefight where the SPG is essentially useless. But again, you got to test the water in game 1.
Coalition doesn't really, because last time you saw, like you said, they don't really like to stay still in one place.
No.
And the SPG obviously is going to have to be trying to hit a moving target. We'll have to see how that works out for them. But again, Karaya, like you said, very clutch player. These are names that we do see often, and so. Enough talk, guys. We're going to go on to game number 5 on Mines. Set number 5, guys. This is the first game on Mines. The score is now 2-2, which is pretty surprising because we expected B Gaming to be able to run all over this. But
yeah. It just hasn't happened that way. Again, we talked about the first set being a bit of an upset. It could happen again. Let's talk about these tanks. 5100, 2 IS-3s, 3 lightweight T-54s, and a T-37 for TCSG. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect to see from them on this map. But B Gaming runs a composition that's almost like a direct counter to what you would imagine that TCSG would normally run on this map and how they like to play it. So I really like this. They clearly did the research. They're bringing a Pershing to start things out, so that's really cool. We don't see that very often on this map. Every now and then. Several lightweights, and also they're bringing the Tank Destroyer. And I think the Tank Destroyer is just going to sit back. If he can control the high ground, can do so much with that. But if not, is just going to try his best to take some shots. Already hitting a shot here on Raymond. A ton of damage done to him on that T-37. Also bringing the T-21, a recent, kind of more popular pick in the meta because it's happening in Europe.
We saw EL Gaming use the T-21 last week, and from what I know, the Russians have been running this tank quite a bit. It's because the T-21, it's like the T-37, except smaller and shorter, so it's much better for them to hide with, and that's really interesting that they've started to use this tank.
All right, well, here comes the Coalition.
Taki. Oh, man, the
Taki
Coalition
is going
just
down.
Yeah, that was... Poor guy did not see that coming. The assaults just...
They actually somehow avoid vision for most of that time, and he himself is coming at the last second. I do feel B Gaming is prepared for what Coalition is doing, but still it's so unusual and so unique that we're just seeing them get totally owned here. There goes the Waffen.
Wow. The Waffen really didn't do much in this game, and I was actually questioning that pick as well, just because of the way that the terrain is here. I'm not sure if that's actually the best choice for them, but Lalote also taking tons of damage, down to 41 HP. Coalition is doing a great job of working together and picking off members of B Gaming, kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine from the last game.
Massively ahead right now, like way ahead. I can't even imagine. They're on the defensive here. They have this one capture point totally secured. They've got it so secured that they can even start firing down on the other capture point. I can't imagine B Gaming taking this game anymore. They're in crutches, basically. Lolita is doing the only thing he can do here is simply something that capture point because he has 41 hit points left. He's not going to be long for this world if anyone finds him, if anyone takes a shot on him.
No.
Now the Coalition is trying to collapse here on this team very carefully. IS-3s going to one side. The T-37 is trying to spot, not going to really try to do a hard engagement check here, and then leave, so he pulls back immediately after he sees Neat Mania is over there.
Oh, wow. Karaya does get a very good shot on Raymond. Neat Mania and Bonsai Attack are going to hit from the other side. They know that the entire team is going to be grouped up together and coming in a swarm. And now we've got the lightweight battles here. All the lightweight, the T-54s are going to group up Baby and Roy trying to take out Banzai attack, but I think
they're just so far ahead that they can do crazy things like that. Like, that was like the worst possible way to engage that, but it just doesn't matter. Coalition now up 2,000 hit points. Baby just rolling in here.
Yep, and they're just ramming into each other, trying to do as much damage as possible. Luckily, 7mm is next to Neat Mania and is going to help him out in taking out Baby. Neat Mania is still alive. Lolote's still alive, guys.
Yeah, if they keep making these decisions where they're running into haphazardly like that, one by one, they might actually end up losing this. Krazib is basically removed from the fight for the next 33 seconds. He's also very low. So this is basically a 4v2 battle at this moment in time. Best case scenario, 4v3. So very much still winnable here for B Gaming, despite the fact that hit points wise, they're about half of what their opponents are.
I know that, but you know what? They are still up 2 tanks, you know? Okay, here's Karaya and Krazib. They're going to meet each other over in this little hill area, and Krazib is going to be reloaded very soon, and once he is, he's going to unleash the fury onto Karaya, and
that's exactly what happened. Karaya didn't know.
What happens.
He didn't know exactly how close the reload time was. He knew it was going to be soon, so that's why we saw some indecision from him there for just a minute. Neat Mania being protected here by 7mm as best as he can. Elite also trying to take some fire, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to win this fight. Keep in mind also, B Gaming is on the attack, so they're the ones who were forced to make something happen here in the next 2.5 minutes. Whereas the Coalition, if they're forced to move into a bad position, they don't have to. They can just sit back and say, no, it's fine.
Yes, but it doesn't really even matter. It looks like Coalition just wants to clean up the job, finish off everyone, and they do. Lolote is the last man standing with 41 HP left. He lasted a pretty long time, though.
Yep. Not going to last much longer than this, though.
Nope, and Krazib, they all know exactly where he is, and look at that aim.
Oh. Because he misses his shot, but it doesn't matter. Because Obi-Wan Kenobi's there to finish him.
And TCSG showing us amazing games today. They are up 3-2.
I feel like B Gaming is not bringing their A game, if you will.
Their B game.
They're bringing their B game today. This is not what we've seen from them in the past. This is not the excellent Japanese team, the sister team of Karen Tigers, one of the teams that's considered by many to be the third best in this league right now. They're not showing it today.
No.
I think your theory on possibly not taking this match seriously is possible. Maybe they're in bad condition today. Don't know what's going on. You know, I looked at the starting tanks, and I saw the tank destroyer, and I was thinking, okay, if they can get this in a safe place, especially up on that higher island, and they can just sit back defensively with the tanks they've chosen, which I feel were very smart for how TCSG plays. You got a tank destroyer there, it can just take these tanks out one by one and just eventually win them the fight from a safe location. All started to make sense to me. I was like, okay, they studied. And then when the game happened, they didn't do any of that. They just split their tanks up, and were just waiting, sitting duck targets for TCSG's massive lightweight push, where they just find a tank, kill it, find another tank, kill it. Uh-oh, now it's 7v5. Found another tank instead.
It really seemed like they were using B Gaming strats from the previous game. And was just like, guys, I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine. This is what it feels like when each of your tanks dies one by one, because we're all grouped up and running together. I like the lightweight pack, you know, if you will, the little gang of lightweights that kind of
I'd like to see, based on what we saw from B Gaming there, I'd like to see the Waffen replaced with a T-32 and them just be more safe, be slower, be careful.
That's why I remember I told you, I was like, I don't understand why they have the Waffen in this. Just the terrain doesn't really help them for it.
I like it for what I think they thought, the way they thought Singapore was going to approach them there, the coalition, but it didn't happen that way. The Waffen ended up being totally useless. It looked like a terrible pick in that game specifically, but I just think it's better to bring a T-32, put it in that safe position underneath those rocks.
Okay, there's going to be another player change. We have B Gaming. They're going to take out Karaya and put Nipa back in.
Okay, well that's fair. These two are both very good players on the team.
I think B Gaming is really just trying to look for the best combination that's going to be able to beat Coalition easily. And if you notice, every game they're just kind of like swapping out players left and right.
It's been basically every game. So clearly,
excuse me.
I hope you're all right, Susie.
Ooh, it's not MERS, guys. Don't worry.
Don't worry. She's totally safe.
I'm totally safe. You can't catch MERS through the computer screen anyway, so you'll be okay.
Yeah, you can't. I don't care what it said on the Huffington Post or on those other websites. You can't get it through the computer. It looks like the game's ready, Susie.
All right, we are going to go ahead and see what Coalition can do now. Set number 6, guys. Coalition is up 3 games, B Gaming 2, and they are on the attack.
That they are. Okay. Guess what, Susie?
Oh,
B
gosh.
Gaming got rid of the Waffen.
Thank
They put
goodness.
the T32 in. They read my mind. They knew what to do. And we're seeing 2 IS-3s actually for Coalition with their big lightweight group. So keeping it pretty much the same here. But I like the choice to put the T32 in. That's why I suggested earlier. I think it's like the best way to go about this. They're moving together as a group. This is how to handle the Coalition.
Well, yeah, that Waffen did absolutely nothing last game. And you can see that they are going to try to take that high ground and be a little more patient now. The Coalition going down to the beach, where I like to call the light tank beach party. And they're going to see what they can do there. Lalote, however, he's a voyeur, man. He wants to see what's going on in that beach party.
I'm never invited to those.
Are you that guy? Are you the T-37 that just has to sneak in and like check out what's going on at the beach party?
Another party without me.
Guys, I want to join, and they're like, no, we're shooting you down.
I feel like Lalote is living vicariously through me right now.
It's okay, beach party's over. Everyone's gonna leave now. It was fun while it lasted.
I ruined it.
You ruined it, but they're gonna go back.
I always do it. Oh, why does Wolf always do this?
And Roby-1 Kenobi is going to go ahead and take that first shot.
So, you know, the positioning here is just much better this time for B Gaming, and I don't see Coalition looks like they're like walking around with their heads cut off. Oh, how do we deal with this now? We can't just approach this blindly. It's not going to work. We thought that there might be split up again, except we attacked from the beach this time instead of through the center.
Yep,
and they're not there. So
they're not there. You're right. So 5 of these tanks are all grouped together. Again, I think they want to try to poke one at a time and try to kill off members of B Gaming, but B Gaming obviously knows what's going on here.
Oh man, they're coming for a big flank. T-37 and the 2 T-54s are coming with a bonsai attack. Never want that guy to be against you if he's coming around from the side. He's going to go in full force. They are rotating their tanks around and starting to deal with this. I love the position of the IS-3 is going to protect those weaker tanks towards the capture point. But still, time working against B Gaming, but very slowly. We're still early on in this 6th game.
It is, and obviously Lalote let them know the beach is empty, guys. All the girls are gone, and we can hang out there. Lakushme takes a lot of damage right there, and it looks like he's going to take some more pretty soon.
Well, shots fired on all sides here. Hiroshi taking a ton of damage, but
Baby's on the chase. He's going to see if he could try to take him out, but 7mm and Neat Mania are right behind
here comes
him,
the
and
rest.
they're going to survive.
Yeah, here comes the rest of these tanks from the beach. They need to get over here ASAP, but already B Gaming is taking the better trade. And once these reinforcements arrive, things are going to get out of control very quickly. Hiroshi with a escape maneuver. Baby really on the chase here.
Yeah, he is, but ooh, good chase, Baby.
We'll be able to finish him off, but sacrifices position for this. You know, as you can see, Baby's now way out of position, has to go all the way around this edge here before you get back into the fight. This
yeah, Raymond is taking a ton of damage as well, and even though Coalition is on the high ground here, they are not having the better fight.
Yeah,
no.
They're not going to be able to hold B Gaming back, especially with Baby gone. Baby is now coming around the back side, but it's too late. Too much damage has been done. And
Baby's like, wait guys, I want to join the party. He's going to see if he can kill off Bonsai Attack, but I think Bonsai has his number.
One more shot should do it, assuming he hits it. And
Hit
there
me,
it is.
Baby, one more time.
Oh, well said. And there you go.
There we go.
Tie score 3-3. B Gaming taking that win, bringing it back. Starting to look like we might go to another tiebreaker, Susie.
Wow, that was very unexpected with these two. I mean, we really thought that B Gaming was going to be able to take an easy win, but no, Coalition has been practicing, and they have been looking super solid in these games.
That last game, though, B Gaming made them look anything but solid. They were able to simply put B defensive. TCSG just ran for an aggressive attack, this time on the opposite side, which is what they did versus Run. One game, they attacked from the middle, all rush in, try to destroy everybody, try to catch people out. And it worked, and then they were like, okay, let's try it, but the other way, because they won't be expecting it, we'll go the other way. In this game, B Gaming just was very safe and covered all corners.
Yep.
And then when they got there, they're like, oh, no B Gaming members here. Now we got to go to the middle of the map, but you're already in position. How can we do this? The answer is you can't really. You lost all your position, and you have no power, basically, after you did that rush. So I mean, that's what we saw there. Then better fights, obviously with a better position, and slow eventual win there for
Of
B Gaming.
course. So as we get into set number 7, it is a tie score of 3-3.
Yeah, and now Coalition's going to be on the attack.
Yep.
B Gaming on the defense. And I think this hurts Coalition, especially considering their style on this map. Even though they were on the defense in those first sets, they didn't look like it. They were very, very aggressive. And if B Gaming has the clock on their side, I think that really, really helps things.
That's going to help them out. You're right. And Coalition on the attack. That's kind of scary. Actually, it's kind of exciting because they are exciting to watch, especially when they just kind of go in and try to catch them off guard, if you will.
Yeah. So let's see what Coalition has in store for the attack. Might be best to change the plan. Like, nothing would make me happier if Coalition was like, "Hey, Wolf, you're wrong about us. I'm bringing an SPG, and I'm bringing a T-32, and we're going to very carefully push this with lightweights coming to the beach side to kind of poke, see what we can get done. We're going to try to, when they have that IS-3 around the corner, when they've got that T-3 on top, we're going to shoot them with the SPG, and we're going to play this map like most other teams do. I'll be like, oh, I'm really proud of you, Coalition. I really didn't expect that."
They might call you after watching this. You know, you might get a call tomorrow and be like, "Wolf, that's what we're going to do next time."
Yeah. Well, let's see if they do it. They could do it right now. It could happen.
Did you call them?
I didn't call them.
Okay, that would be very unethical of you.
No, yeah,
to do so.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
That's against the rules. I would never break the WGL rules. Never.
You better not.
Never do.
No.
They're great rules.
Whew.
They're very cool, and I like the tiebreaker system. And
I do too. I really do like the fact that when you get to a tiebreaker, it's like you're rewarded for making it all the way to the end. Even if you lose, you still come out with 1 point. You know. So
yeah, and you rob the winning team of a point as well. So everybody wins to a certain extent.
Yes. All right. So Nipa and Karaya again are going to flip. They're going to, one's going to go, one's going to come back in. It looks like Karaya's coming back in now, and Nipa wants to step out of this position.
Yeah. So I mean, naturally, they just keep switching. I mean, there's like nothing more we can say about this, except that they just feel more comfortable at this moment in time.
All right. Well, the game is ready. Set number 7. Let's go. Set number 7, like we said, the score is tied 3-3. Whew, such a close game. And here's our tank list.
Same list for Coalition. 4 lightweights, 2 IS-3s.
Ooh, but B Gaming with the Burt. Look at that.
Yeah, they bring the Burt, and they're going to have, you know, basically the lineup of tanks you see most often from teams that run the Burts is 1 T-32, 1 IS-3, and a AMX-200's 3 heavy tanks, and then the 2 lightweights, or excuse me, 3 lightweights and the Burt to back them up. 3 lightweights are going to help control the beach approach, and that is where we're going to see the Coalition go for their all-in run this time. They are swarming the beach now. The Burt, obviously a bit of a risky pick versus a team that likes to do this. They spotted these tanks already.
Right, but the Burt also knows that there's probably going to be a ton of lightweights over by the beach, so he could always just aim out that way and hope to get some sort of splash damage, you know, like hit someone and then do damage that way. We see B Gaming, they're going to take that high ground up by the mine and position themselves there. Again, this beach party, where's Lolite, man?
Well, he's over somewhere else.
No, he's on the 51. He's like, I've had enough of this voyeurism stuff.
I just wanted to point out the IS-3 so slow, like moving through the water there. It was a cool image we had, though. All right, they immediately tried to take this capture point while controlling the beach, and that's where this Burt is going to come into handy. You can use that to hit an arc and hit these IS-3s. It's going to be tough without vision of them, but you can definitely try for it. He hasn't tried yet.
We could also see, I mean, on the mini-map, we could see that it looks like there's more than one tank there. As of right now, however, Roby 1 is just going to sit around and provide cover and not really speed along things. They know that once the base capture gets down a little low, you know, they could all just hop in there and try to cap it really fast. But right now, there's no need. There's a lot of time, and there's no need to be hasty.
Absolutely not. Well, just a very, very calm move forward here by 7mm.
I am very surprised that Coalition hasn't done anything crazy just yet.
Well, they've got a good position on this location. Oh, they might be doing something crazy now.
I think so. All the lightweights are coming up now. They know that B Gaming is up on the mines, but I think B Gaming knows this too, and they're going to move up towards the northern side.
This is such a weird move by Coalition.
This is really weird move by B Gaming as well.
Well, they're just gonna avoid this. Try to take out the IS-3 that's on the low ground. They're forcing Lagashima off the point.
Okay, well, let's see.
Whoa!
Wants to take out
critical ram.
That was amazing. Critical ram. He's like, all right, this is easy. That's 1 down, 6 to go.
Well, this is just a rough spot for Coalition because they lost their control of the capture point. They didn't need to do this.
No.
They had the capture point down to like 40 seconds, and they were in a good spot. And then they just suddenly decided they were going to rush the top. They just can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And
all right,
B Gaming in a much better spot now.
Yep, Roy took a lot of damage, and he's going to run away and see if he can get into a safer position. Crazib also taking down some damage from Bonsai attack.
This is never where you want to be on the attacking side. It's like the roles have been reversed.
I know. Why are they up there? They can't do anything, guys.
Because they decided to attack for some reason, and now they're stuck up there. And, you know, look at how difficult it is for even someone like Crazib with this position to actually attack. That's where you could have maybe a T-32 up here, or even an IS-3.
Oh, man. 7mm has a really great shot at him because Crazib's like just out there. He's up on top. And maybe Coalition thought they were on defense. Do you think they like forgot?
Well, in seriousness, no. But I mean, it starts to look that way, right? They're in the position where the defense would normally be, but they're the attacking team, and the clock is reaching that 3-minute mark where you start to worry because it takes a minute and a half to capture. You know, a minute and 39 technically, if you will, to capture alone. So half of that time is going to be, you know, consuming your clock if you ever get reset.
Yeah.
Roy Hamiya in a position to threaten. The Burt could actually take him out should he get vision of that. Neat
Mania is going to come around for the assault. Lakushme is in that bush, but it's, I mean, these two. Neat Mania does take some damage.
Bonsai attack got way too far forward and actually got picked off. So good moves there by Coalition. Here comes Lolita, though, with an auto-loader that's got several shells active.
Yeah, Lakushme is going to just get yanked.
He's getting pummeled.
Yes, he sure is.
20 seconds left, though. Multiple tanks on that capture point. And Crazib is going to touch it as well.
Touch it as well. Wow, this is going to have to pull B Gaming down and try to stop it. Super Hiroshi is going to start taking shots, making sure.
Are they just going to miss and lose this?
Oh, man, what?
Is this just happening? I think it is. Oh, that was so close. Karaya is trying to come in here and ram at point-blank range. Okay, that's going to be it.
Wow, that was so close. I can't believe Super Hiroshi missed all those shots. He was in panic mode for sure. And now
Karaya's going to go down for free, and they will have to rotate the rest of their tanks up. AMX-5100 can't fire for 26 more seconds. Neat Mania, very slow. Taki is the one they need right now to make sure he can take a shot and slow this down just one more time for that AMX-5100 to get its shells back up. For Neat Mania to get into position here. There's only 2 tanks left.
Yes, and, well, obviously, they're going to have to do something. There's only 15 seconds left in this base capture. I think they're going to talk to Neat Mania. They're going to all have to rush all together. Lolote is taking some damage. That's not a good sign, though he is now up. He's got full rounds, and he can take some shots. Roy goes down. Baby goes down. That was very well done. B Gaming, very patient, and wins that game.
Takes their 4th win, making it a 4-3. Really good moves there at the end. B Gaming, we're starting to see them kind of flow back into what they're good at, what we've seen them do well in the past. Even having the AMX-5100 there in front, actually for the first time ever, actually the right choice because he wasn't actually able to fire yet. He was protecting that lightweight tank, which was going to be the tank that was going to deny the capture. Good movements there.
Yes.
Very good idea by Coalition to try to capture that. They didn't know, B Gaming did not know there was a 3rd tank there, so when that 3rd tank walked in, they were like, oh we got
crap.
9 seconds left,
Yes.
we got to do this. But they hit the critical tanks, they needed to reset that base capture, and even though they had to take a lot of damage for it, they lost their lead from that, essentially. They knew just what to do with the last few tanks they had left.
That was that was literally like impromptu thinking. That was like, crap, what do we do? Bam, bam, bam. Everything executed the way that it should have gone. That was very well, except for Super Hiroshi, who shot like 3 times and missed. But
we saw that went, because of Super Hiroshi's missed shots, that went to, the timer was at 0. The last point was being taken as he was hit. So that was milliseconds away from being a defeat for B Gaming. So got to be a stressful win there, but now they're 1 win away from those 3 points. They need those points really, really badly.
So that they can catch up to Karen Tigers.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Their sister team.
They want to be there.
They don't want to take a 2-point win. They don't want to give any points to the Coalition. And they also, pride-wise, probably don't want to go to a tiebreaker versus the team that's never won a single match in this league.
Wow, you know, when you put it that way, that's really, I can't believe how B Gaming is. I wonder if Coalition is just performing really well, or is B Gaming underperforming?
I feel like B Gaming is underperforming, but the Coalition made some good moves on Runeberg. I like their play on Runeberg. On Mines, it just seems like insanely predictable, and to be honest, I hope this works. Let's just see what happens. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of big thought. There's not a lot of big strategy. Simply like, oh, we're good at doing this whole rush thing. Let's do it. They were in position. Okay, let's try it again next game.
Right,
sort of.
right.
It seems like that's the idea. Although in that last game, to give them credit, they did a lot more carefully using the beach as well. I think B Gaming should be able to close this one out if they play well again.
Okay, well, we'll see if they can do that. This may be the last game, but who knows? Let's go into set 8. Here we go, guys. Set 8. B Gaming up 4 games. Coalition 3. B Gaming on defense. And yeah, if they win this, they get their 3 points. If not, we go into another tiebreaker.
All right, Susie, tank list time. 2 IS-3s, 4 T-54s, and a T-37. Exact same list for Coalition. T-32, IS-3, 5100, yep. 3 lightweights, and the Burt. Same tank list for both teams. This could be our final match of these two teams. Coalition showing that they are not to be underestimated.
That is for sure. Wow, the Coalition is just going to rush up into
boy, they're going for it.
Oh, they're doing the crazy strat. They're going to go up into the mine area.
Now,
this was definitely not expected.
One of the worst parts about this strategy, though, is your IS-3s take so long to arrive. However, B Gaming didn't punish them for that just yet, so those lightweights, those weaker tanks got to the high ground, and the IS-3s are now coming up to close and defend them. It's almost as if you said, like you said before, Susie, they forgot which side they were on.
Yeah,
They're going to go for the defensive position here, but still taking the better trades and are in a position now to where they can protect those lightweight tanks. And this is awkward for B Gaming. They have to kind of force their way in here.
Yeah, wow, that was definitely unexpected, and I'm sure B Gaming is feeling exactly the same way. Crazip takes a lot of damage, however. Roby 1 is also low, goes down. We have Crazip goes down.
Now notice our observer focuses on the 58-100 because if he is left alone, he is going to do the most damage in this fight. So Haku trying to block him now from finishing off some of these other tanks. B Gaming taking the better fight here, though. Coalition ran in this time with their lightweights at the front and their IS-3s at the back. Guess what? Now most lightweights are dead. The IS-3 is still alive at nearly full health because it's been completely ignored by the 5100, which took out the early tanks, or the 1500, excuse me, took out those earlier lightweight tanks. And B Gaming is going to be able to finish this off. It looks like, well,
I don't know.
Where's
Lolote is now finally, no, he's got 20 seconds left, and he's just using his body right now to try to block shots. Bonsai Attack is the last one left. They're going to try to go back and forth.
They should ignore Lolite, actually. They should just focus on Bonsai Attack. Lolite can't do damage. Okay, they kill him here.
Wow, this is definitely an interesting matchup here.
Look at his damage. He's got 1,676 damage on T-54 because he was ignored, and they focused on the 5100, which had no rounds. A bad choice, I feel. Now it's going to be an IS-3 versus a lightweight with Karaya to help out. Here's what's going to happen. He's literally going to run away for 4.5 minutes while the Burt gives him support fire. If he tries to cap, then the lightweight tank is going to outmaneuver him, take a shot on him, slow it down. He doesn't have to do anything. He does not want to fight an IS-3 directly. He just wants to avoid conflict. This is actually going to be a crazy, perhaps long standstill game. This could go towards the end.
Oh man, Karaya is just going to have to. But as long as Karaya doesn't get hit, as long as he doesn't get picked off, he's going to have to run somewhere and start shooting at Lakushme. Lakushme is on his trek, his long, slow IS-3 trek to try to find Burt. But look how fast Karaya is moving.
Yep. I mean, the Burt is an insanely fast lightweight SPG. It's going to always outrun the slowest tank that we have in competitive play, the IS-3.
Look at this. You're right. We may just have 3 minutes and 40 seconds of
So-
us sitting here talking about these tanks.
Well, this is kind of exciting too because it's still a game that the Coalition can win. They can win this. It's just insanely difficult. The odds are stacked against them. If Wakashime tries to cap, the bird's just going to keep hitting him. Even if he misses a few times, it's going to take 99 seconds for him to cap the point.
Oh, well, here he goes. 99 seconds. He's going to try to cap this point.
He's just going to sit on the edge, hope that no one hits him. Bonsai attack. Look at this positioning. It's so smart. Using the trees. He knew this is where Wakashime would try to cap. He's probably going to wait until the last second to deny it as well. Why show yourself before that? He's going to wait until the last second. Oh, well, he doesn't have to wait.
Never mind.
He waited a while.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I mean, what can Lakushime do at this point? Bonsai can just run around, take shots from all over the map, and while he does this, Karaya can come by and take a shot at him as well.
This is exactly what's happening. He's like, yo, Karaya, he's there. Yeah, I see him. Come a bit closer. Take your shots.
Take your shots. Karaya's like, yep, I'm going to try from wherever I am.
Here it comes. Misses. Looks like, yep, a bit off there, but still. If Bonsai has 76 seconds before he even has to take another shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. In 70 seconds, if he waits till the end, I mean, this could be reset by Karaya at any time.
Oh, that was great. Reset, 99 seconds.
Pretty soon, in about 45 seconds time, if it gets reset, he will no longer be able to win by base capture and will have to go for elimination. I think he's starting to realize that.
Yeah, he knows that he is a sitting duck just sitting in that wide open space at the base capture. And
the worst tank to be left like this.
I think he's going to go and try to find Karaya.
That's the first step, right?
First step, kill the bird. Then look for the other one.
First we kill the bird man.
First we kill the bird, then we kill the Ernie. No. But yeah, he's just going to go and find Karaya and hope that he's able to take him out. Bonsai is still in the same spot. Karaya's going to hide behind the on-game net billboard.
He actually might get taken out here. There's a high chance, but still, this then will allow Bonsai attack to run around for another minute and a half. Base capture is no longer a win
he's
condition.
going to be able to catch him out over here. Look at him. And with one shot goes down, but that actually helped out.
So, Susie, base capture is no longer a win condition. He no longer has enough time to capture a base, so he has to kill Bonsai attack, which just simply will not happen. I actually can't even believe Bonsai attack's fighting him right now. He should just run away.
He should just run away, yeah. Oh, but I think that's how confident he is. He's in a great position right now to be able to hit him. Lakushime knows that he's going to try to hide behind this little ledge here, but you're an IS-3, man, not a T-32. I don't know if you're going to be able to...
Yeah, he's firing up into plants, into bushes, into a high ground position.
And Bonsai just has to wait it out for 52 more seconds.
It's actually teasing him here so hard. It's like, if I were Bonsai attack, I would not even think about doing this. I would just run away, but either way.
He's at full health, though. I mean, we have 1250 HP versus 247.
The only way he can lose is if he tries to fight and messes it up.
No, but
he's just gonna run
Bonsai's
away.
been so good.
Yep.
You know that he's going to be able to hit his shots, and he's going to run away now. He's
just running away.
Wow, it's such a taunt, man. Like, I'm going to get you down to HPs. Either one hit or 23 seconds. Those are your choices.
Well, what a crazy last game we have here. 18 seconds to go. Lakushime too far away. It looks like he's actually lost track of where Bonsai attack is as
and
well.
Bonsai is hiding. Oh, man, now he's making noise, trying to, like, taunt the guy.
Yeah, well, 6 seconds left. Good attempt here by Coalition, possibly the best World of Tanks play we've seen from them in this tournament.
Look at him. He's just ramming
He's trolling.
He's so trolling right now. But yeah, congratulations to B Gaming. They do win it in 8 sets. They still get those 3 points, which will help them climb that rank ladder. And whew, that was pretty crazy.
That was a really fun last set there.
That definitely was. Okay, hopefully then you guys also need a 10-minute break, because we definitely do. That was amazing. So you guys go ahead, take your break, and come back, and we will have the last set of the evening ready for you then.